UFC 313, Magomed Ankalaev versus Alex Pereira. The main event, my reaction, my thoughts. Man, it was surprising, right? I think a lot of people were surprised. But nonetheless, everything I've been saying in most of my videos with regard to what I believe would lead to Alex Pereira's defeat was pretty much accurate. And to be honest, I think we can chalk up this loss as Alex psyching himself out. He psyched himself out. He had way too much respect for Magomed's takedown ability. Way too much respect for it. And like I said, you know, in the video that I made before this, giving my analysis, Magomed, he didn't really show very impressive wrestling ability or takedown abilities. Based on what I saw in other fights of him, he's mostly a striker. He doesn't have really profound MMA wrestling like that. But Alex didn't know that. Alex, he psyched himself out. He saw, oh man, this guy's from Dagestan. He saw the beard. He saw the cauliflower ears. Oh man, you know, because everybody knows the dangers associated with these Dagestani guys. They're wrestlers, man. When you see those ears, the beard, head for the hills, right? Or don't even head for the hills because they're going to be in the hills. They live in the mountains, right? Wrestling bears and stuff, you know? But Alex, he psyched himself out, you know? And it's crazy. And I figured, you know, it only makes sense why they would give Magomed Alex, you know, eventually, right? They weren't going to actually give him someone who can pose a legitimate threat. They've seen enough of this guy's fights to say, you know what, even though on paper the fans, right, they'll look at it and say, well, finally he's fighting a wrestler. But if you actually watch his fights, he doesn't wrestle like that. He doesn't strike. No, he does strike. He don't wrestle like that. And actually, going back to the fight, think about it. He didn't take Alex down one time. He had him against the fence and stuff. He was showing good upper body control, cage control. I think his wrestling background is Greco-Roman or whatnot. But as far as level changing and stuff like that, I think he level changed like twice throughout the whole fight. And come on, whereas if you take a guy like Daniel Cormier, Islam, or Habib, they're foot sweeping, they're high crotching, they're single legging. This Magomed did none of that. He's just kind of, you know, controlling them upper body, which is enough, you know, to tire someone out if they're not used to it. And but I think with Alex, it was more so he psyched himself out. You know, he's apprehensive. Like Nick Diaz said, don't be scared, homie. He was scared, homie. No, he ain't want to scare homie. I just feel like I just want to quote Nick Diaz. He's not a scared guy, but you know that takedown, the fear of the takedown, it can make a really good striker apprehensive. It can make a world champion, a glory kickboxer look like a novice kickboxer. You know, when they're worried about that takedown, it's kind of like that thing they used to say back in the day in MMA. You can what does it say? The best defense to an armbar is a punch to the face, right? You can turn a black belt Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu person into a white belt just by slamming them on their head real hard or dropping some elbows on them. You know, the game changes. If it's not pure Jiu-Jitsu, if it's not pure striking, the game changes. You know, and I don't know, maybe Magomed in terms of like, I don't know, a pure wrestling match or something, maybe he is all right. But as far as MMA wrestling, I don't see it. I didn't even see it in the fight. And he beat Alex. Okay, he outstruck him. Yeah, because Alex, like I said, he's backpedaling. And this also ties into another thing I've said. I said wrestling, I think, is Alex's kryptonite. Even though it wasn't really wrestling in this case, but the threat of wrestling. You know, the fear of being taken down was all it took. You know, it was smoke and mirrors. A lot of this shit is mind games, too. It was all smoke and mirrors. The Dagestani mystique of being such a good wrestler was enough to have Alex Pereira backpedaling. We have never seen that. Alex is usually the one pressing the action, you know, throwing and stuff. He didn't do it. He's back with that, you know. So I was still right about what I've been saying nonetheless. It was wrestling. Even if it was just the threat of wrestling, it was enough to take him out. Now, with that being said, I actually think Alex can win a rematch. I do. I think Alex can win because from what I saw, it was he just wasn't throwing enough. You know, I get it. When you're dealing with somebody that's really good at wrestling, especially when you see the word Dagestani, you get a little apprehensive, and we saw that with Justin Gaethje versus Habib. Justin wasn't really throwing like he usually does because, man, the threat of the takedown. Conor versus Habib as well. Conor, you could tell, spent a lot of time working takedown defense. He wasn't throwing like he usually does too. So Yeah, I think some good examples of strikers who are good at fighting wrestlers are Chuck Liddell and Jose Aldo. Chuck and Jose Aldo in their prime, they took on a lot of wrestlers, beat a lot of wrestlers, because while they did have really good takedown defense, they weren't they still let their hands fly, their knees fly, their kicks fly. And because they were confident that they could stop the takedown, but even if they didn't stop the takedown, they would get back up to their feet and keep it moving, keep it pressing. But now, some guy, fighters, I don't know. I think it's just we're in an era of the kickboxer, and just so many people are just into kickboxing nowadays that I think this is probably one of the best times for a person to start implementing some wrestling, because a lot of these guys, they're kind of shook. They shook by being taken down. They don't really know how to stop takedowns and still feel comfortable with striking. And as well, but that being said, I do think Alex can win a rematch if he just throws. He throws more, because like I said, I'm just repeating myself like a broken record now. But I wasn't impressed by Magomed's takedown ability. His MMA wrestling, in my opinion, is not so great to where Alex won't be able to win a rematch. And that's what I think. Yeah, those are my thoughts on the fight. Yeah, I love to see it. Yeah, but I definitely it makes sense why they wouldn't want to give him John Jones for sure, because John Jones, in my opinion, has way better wrestling than this Magomed, and John Jones would definitely be able to. It'd just be real bad for him. So they want to give him somebody who, on paper, it looked like he posed the threat, but really, he didn't pose a threat. Alex psyched himself out. It is what it is. Those are just my thoughts. Think whatever you want. I want to see the rematch. Let's get it going. Until then, later. Wow.